Hey guys, welcome back to Beyond the Box Score, and I am your host Hayat. Today is March 2nd, and we've got 3 high-level college basketball matchups to break down. Duke at NC State, number 4 ranked Iowa State versus number 2 ranked Arizona, and IU Indy at Cleveland State in a Horizon League play-in game. And you already know how I do this. I'm not just reading numbers off a screen. I'm thinking out loud, working through the spreads, the totals, the recent form, the momentum swings, the situational angles, and asking myself how these games realistically play out possession by possession. We've got a number 1 team laying 9.5 on the road, a top 4 showdown with a 147.5 total and first half angles in play, and a winner go-home spot with a 172.5 total and a 1.5 point spread. There's urgency, there's revenge spots, there's too easy feelings, there's momentum streaks. This slate has layers. So this is pure analysis and opinion only, no guarantees, no promises, just how I see March 2nd shaping up if these matchups unfold the way the data and recent trends suggest. Alright, let's lock in and start connecting the dots. Duke at NC State, the lean here is Duke. Let me walk through why. Duke laying 9.5 points. Total set at 148.5, NC State getting plus 9.5 at home. And I know, anytime I see a road favorite laying 9.5 in conference play, my first instinct is whoa, that's heavy, especially when NC State is at home getting plus 9.5. But then I start digging into what NC State has actually looked like, and it's ugly. They've lost 4 of their last 5. In their last game versus Notre Dame they were laying 6.5 points and they lost 96-90, and that game went to OT, which means even with the extra session they still couldn't get it done. If you're laying 6.5 and losing 96-90 in OT, that's a red flag. Then you zoom out, lost to Virginia 96-1, lost to Louisville 118-77, lost to Miami at home 118-77. That's not competitive. 96-1. That's not competitive. If this matchup plays out like NC State's recent stretch, where they're just hemorrhaging points and not closing, how are they hanging inside plus 9.5 against a team that holds the number 1 spot? And that's where Duke comes in. Duke has won 9 of their last 10. They've covered 4 straight. They just won by 26 points versus Virginia in their last game. 26. That's not sneaking by, that's domination. And then you connect the common opponent. NC State lost to Notre Dame by 6 points, and Duke beat Notre Dame 100-56. 100-56. That's a 44-point statement. One path I see here is Duke just asserting themselves early, because when a team is number 1 and has covered 4 straight and won 9 of their last 10, they're not playing down, they're stepping on teams. Now the concern, and I feel it, Duke feels too easy. Everyone's going to see NC State lost 4 of their last 5, see the 118-77 loss, see Duke beat Notre Dame 100-56, see Duke won by 26 vs Virginia, and click Duke minus 9.5. That scares me. Nothing is ever that easy. But what connects for me is form plus comparison. Duke beat Michigan. We're talking about Duke, Zona, Michigan in the best team conversation, and Duke beat Michigan and holds the number 1 spot. If this is truly the best team in the country conversation, then laying 9.5 against a team that just lost 96-90 in OT while laying 6.5 and has dropped 4 of 5, that number might not even be high enough if Duke's ceiling shows up. If NC State drags it into the mud, slows pace, keeps it under 148.5, maybe it gets weird. But if it plays to recent form and Duke's efficiency shows, the 26-point type of win is in the range again. So yeah, I wrestle with the too easy feeling, but the lean here is Duke, and after walking through 9.5, 148.5, 4 of their last 5, 96-90 in OT, 118-77, 9 of their last 10, covered 4 straight, 26-point win, 100-56, Duke beat Michigan, holds number 1, yeah, that's why the lean sticks at Duke. Next game we have number 4 ranked Iowa State versus number 2 ranked Arizona, and the lean here is Arizona first half against the spread and over 147.5. Let me walk through why I keep landing there. Because when I slow this down and really think it through, the numbers and the situation kind of push me in that direction naturally. So we've got a total sitting at 147.5, and I keep circling that because when I first saw 147.5 my initial reaction was, okay. That feels a little modest for two top 4 teams, right? And I know sometimes when number 4 ranked Iowa State and number 2 ranked Arizona get together it turns into this grind, this half-court defensive war, but what connects for me is how both teams are trending coming in. Iowa State is 24-5 on the year, solid, no question, but they're 7-3 in their last 10 games, which tells me they've been good, not invincible. And then I look at Arizona, 27-2 on the year, 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they're on a 4-game winning streak. That matters to me because momentum, especially at home, especially in a matchup like this, it amplifies everything. Now let's talk about that recent Iowa State result because I can't ignore it. They're coming off a loss where they lost by 10 points, they lost by 11 points, and it's also stated they lost by 9 straight up to Texas Tech. And in that game Iowa State was minus 9.5 vs Texas Tech. So they were laying minus 9.5 and they lose outright. That's a failure to cover minus 9.5 vs Texas Tech, and Texas Tech was ranked 16th. That's not just a loss, that's a spot where they were expected to control the game and didn't. So now I'm thinking, how does that translate when you're flying into Arizona? And this isn't just any Arizona team, this is number 2 ranked Arizona at 27-2, and they just handled Kansas 84-61. Kansas came into that game 21-7, and Arizona was minus 10.5 vs Kansas and covered minus 10.5 vs Kansas easily in an 84-61 final. That's domination against a 21-7 team. So when I line those two recent performances up side by side, Iowa State failing to cover minus 9.5 vs Texas Tech and Arizona covering minus 10.5 vs Kansas in an 84-61 game, it's hard for me not to feel the edge leaning Arizona early. Now layer in the current line, Arizona minus 7.5 at home. That's the full game number, Arizona minus 7.5, and I get why it's there. But the specific angle that keeps popping for me is Arizona first half against the spread over Iowa State. If this matchup plays out like Arizona's 4-game winning streak suggests, if it plays out like that 84-61 performance against Kansas where they buried a 21-7 team, then I can absolutely see Arizona coming out fast. And here's the situational piece that I can't shake, it's a 5 o'clock start in Iowa State's time. That matters to me. Body clock, travel, rhythm, 5 o'clock in Iowa State's time is a little weird, especially on the road, and Arizona's at home, comfortable, rolling at 27-2, 8-2 in their last 10 games, riding that 4-game winning streak. One path I see here is Arizona jumping this early, feeding off that home crowd, building a first-half margin that makes that first half against the spread ticket feel live from the jump. Now let's pivot back to the total because I don't want to ignore 147.5. The official number is 147.5, and I like over 147.5. It's also stated, over 170 and 147.5 total points, and while that phrasing is messy, the key number that keeps anchoring me is 147.5. If this becomes a track meet instead of a defensive slugfest, if Arizona plays with pace the way they did in that 84-61 win over Kansas, and if Iowa State at 24-5 and 7-3 in their last 10 responds offensively instead of clamping down defensively, then 147.5 feels reachable. Especially if Arizona covers minus 7.5 or even just controls tempo, that often correlates with scoring bursts. And when I think about Iowa State losing by 10 points, losing by 11 points, losing by 9 straight up in that Texas Tech game where they were minus 9.5 vs Texas Tech, that tells me they can get dragged into uncomfortable game scripts. If Arizona dictates terms early, the scoring could snowball. So I'm sitting here weighing Arizona minus 7.5, the 147.5 total, the recent form, Iowa State 24-5. 7-3 in their last 10 games, Arizona 27-2, 8-2 in their last 10 games, Arizona on a 4-game winning streak, and I keep coming back to the same thought. What connects for me is the early edge and the pace. Arizona covered minus 10.5 vs Kansas in an 84-61 game against a 21-7 team. Iowa State failed to cover minus 9.5 vs Texas Tech and lost outright. It's a 5 o'clock start in Iowa State's time. That's enough for me to see a fast Arizona start and enough offensive firepower on both sides to push 147.5. So yeah, the lean here is Arizona first half against the spread and over 147.5. And after walking through all of that, the records, the minus 7.5, the minus 9.5 vs Texas Tech, the minus 10.5 vs Kansas, the 84-61 final, the 24-5, the 27-2, the 7-3, the 8-2, the 4-game winning streak, the 5 o'clock start in Iowa State's time. Yeah, that's why the lean sticks at Arizona first half against the spread and over 147.5. Quick pause right here. If you've got an even one lean you like so far, just one angle that made you think, okay, I see that, hit that like button. That's how I know these deep, think it through breakdowns are actually helping. And if you're new and you like this raw, numbers-driven style, no hype, just logic and flow, hit subscribe. It takes literally a second for you, but it means everything to the channel. That's how we keep building this community going into March. Now last game of this video we have IU Indy at Cleveland State. The lean here is Cleveland State minus 1.5. Let me walk through why. Horizon League Tournament, play in game, win or go home, one team's last game on Monday, so you're getting max urgency. Cleveland State laying 1.5, total set at 172.5, and when I see 172.5 with two teams top 100 in pace of play, my brain immediately says track meet. But then I think about how bad defensively these teams are, especially with KenPom ranking Cleveland State's defense, damn near one of the worst in all of college basketball. That's wild. So you've got tempo plus bad defense plus elimination stakes. The first meeting at Cleveland State, line was Cleveland State minus 1.5, final score 99-86, total went over, Cleveland State won. That's 185 combined, comfortably over 172.5. Then second meeting February 7th at IU Indy laying 2.5, IU Indy won by 8, final score 82-74, total went under. That's 156 combined, well under 172.5. So we've seen two completely different scripts. Teams played two times, home team won both times. That matters to me. Last Cleveland State home game versus IU Indy, they won by double digits. And now we're back at Cleveland State laying 1.5 again, just like the first meeting. What connects for me is that short number. If Cleveland State is laying 1.5 in a win or go home spot, at home, after winning 99-86 at home earlier and winning by double digits in their last Cleveland State home game versus IU Indy, I only need them to win by 2. Cleveland State has 3 more wins than IU Indy. And yes, they've been bad, yes, their defense is damn near one of the worst in all of college basketball, but they've shown flashes. Beat Green Bay at Green Bay, beat Milwaukee at Milwaukee, beat Oakland, and Cleveland State was underdogs in all those games. So they've proven they can win on the road as dogs, which tells me at home laying 1.5 they're capable. One path I see is tempo exploding because both teams are top 100 in pace of play, and that pushes 172.5 into play. I like the over at 172.5, I do, but I'm uncertain about betting the over because we've already seen a 82-74 under in this matchup. If it tightens up under tournament pressure, that under script could resurface. But if it looks like 99-86 again, 172.5 won't hold. For me though, side first. Win or go home, home team won both times, Cleveland State minus 1.5 mirrors the first meeting line, and I just need 2 points. If Cleveland State plays to the version that beat Green Bay at Green Bay, Milwaukee at Milwaukee, and Oakland as underdogs, they should handle this number. So I'll pick Cleveland State minus 1.5, I like the over 172.5 but I'm uncertain about betting the over, and after running through 1.5, 172.5, 99-86 over, 82-74 under, 2 meetings, home team won both times, 3 more wins, underdogs in those road wins, yeah, the lean stays Cleveland State minus 1.5. Alright, that wraps it up for the 3 college basketball matchups on March 2nd, Duke at NC State, Number 4 ranked Iowa State versus number 2 ranked Arizona, and IU Indy at Cleveland State. As always, this was analysis and opinion only, nothing guaranteed. I'm just walking through how these spreads, totals, streaks, and situational spots could play out if the games follow the patterns we talked through. Now I want to hear from you. Drop AZ in the comments and tell me which game you're circling the hardest. Is it Duke laying 9.5, Arizona first half with that 147.5 total in play, or Cleveland State minus 1.5 in a win-or-go-home spot? Or are you seeing something completely different? More breakdowns coming soon, especially with March heating up. Same raw format, same deep dives, same thinking out loud style. I'll see you in the next one.